I sense bad energy returning. Stay away!
Howdy! No! It is I, Christopolonides. Welcome. Believe it or not, I just finished playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time in my life, and I need to talk about it. It's still so fresh in my mind, I just need to get it out. I know it's not a new game, released in 2018, and then a year later on the PC. I've never played any of the Red Dead games, but I always wanted to. At first I was waiting for it to come to PC, and then when it was available, I was waiting for that perfect moment when I had enough free time to really immerse myself into it. And finally here we are in 2025, I have finished the game. And when I was playing the game, I kept thinking, this feels like an RPG. It even plays like one at times. So what better way to talk about the game but to put it into my RPG perfection calculation table. Basically, I'll just rate the game according to my 11 categories of the perfect RPG, and let's see how Red Dead Redemption 2 fares. Score! Oh, and I will not talk about the game's ending, I don't want to spoil it. I want people to experience this game on their own, starting with the player character. Our hero of the game is Mr. Arthur Morgan.
And have you met my partner, Arthur Morgan?
No.
Mr. Gray here was saying how he had problems with a family of degenerates.
Oh, well, nobody likes degenerates.
Now at first, he seems like a basic tough guy, a man who's ready to do whatever it takes. But the more you play, the more you learn about the man. His past, his fears, his dreams, his regrets, and most of all, his sense of morality. This is a great character. There's no doubt about this. Just talking about Arthur makes me emotional. The man is likable and oftentimes even relatable, even though he is a cowboy from the Wild West. And it's not because he's the main character, it's rather he's so well written that you can't help but feel a connection to him. So if I was rating the character only, I would give it a 5 out of 5. But in the Dream RPG, you would be able to create your own character and customize him on extensive levels. In this game, that's not possible, but you can customize Arthur's looks, the hair, the beard, the clothes, and I appreciate that very much. So, as this is a pre-made character, I will have to go with 4. But that's only because you cannot create your own character. Otherwise, Arthur is an amazing character. The NPCs. This is the part where I usually rate the companions and the party members of an RPG. In this game, you have a whole campload of people. When I was first playing the game and I left the snowy intro and reached the open grasslands, Arthur wakes up and the camp is bustling with people. There are dudes making coffee, ladies making breakfast, somebody's singing, somebody's whistling, there's a lot going on, and I was instantly overwhelmed. And over the game, you spend time with these characters and you get to know them. And you start to like them, despite their flaws. And oh, they have many flaws, because they are not a perfect bunch. A group of outlaws on the run. It's actually impressive with such a large cast that they are all so memorable and unique.
Big boss man.
Aren't you a little old to be dressing up like a sheriff?
Yep, the big boss, that's you. There she is.
Oh, shut up, Arthur.
Is that perfume you're wearing, or did a cat piss on some kerosene?
What are you doing, Arthur?
Mr. Morgan! Mr. Morgan!
Can't talk about this now, okay?
Oh, well, excuse me.
Why don't you sit, Arthur? I wish you'd stayed at sea. Mom, stop sleeping.
Pat! What is it?
I'm too tired for this.
Damn drunk.
I'm sleeping, Arthur.
Don't smile, your face might crack.
What is wrong with you? Hey, don't take it out on her. Hello.
You love to play the part of the Southern Belle, don't you?
Come on, Arthur, don't start.
Get up now.
What?
Don't worry, it can wait.
I'm going back to sleep.
Excluding Arthur, I think the biggest standout for me was Dutch. Dutch is a complicated man. He is charismatic and driven, and you want to believe him. And just as Arthur, you start to realize that Dutch is not the man he is telling he is, or at least the man he wants to be.
Hell, yeah. I ain't got much to lose, but you know, the women and the children, and John and his family. I'm afraid I have to insist. I mean, we gotta let them go, because if the Pinkertons come through again...
Insist?
Yeah. insist.
Insist?
Maybe.
He insists upon it. Insists.
There is no other score than 5. The characters here are amazing. And not just the cab members, but everybody. All the NPCs and all the missions, they are all engaging and interesting that you can't help but feel giddy like meeting new people and just learning more about them. And it is thanks to the story that the characters are developed and made as interesting as they are. And I especially liked about the story the fact that every mission, no matter the stakes, felt like a movie. Every freaking mission feels like a scene from a different movie. Sometimes it's a peaceful moment, just fishing and having a conversation.
Hamish,
Arthur, well, come in.
you said we might go out fishing.
Don't take much persuading to get me to go fishing. Let's go to my boat.
Oh, it's a drop back! Hamish!
Other times it's an energetic bank heist or an escape on the rooftop of a train. It is insane how many different situations there are, and they all seem familiar. They are exactly like from those Western movies. And it's an amazing thing to have so many different movie moments packed into one game. It is a blast.
The train's being robbed!
Lay the gun, Arthur!
Well done!
Get on!
An Arthur story, it's one of joy and heartbreak. It's a story that checks all the boxes, and I can't help but feel that this game is the perfect example of why video games can be a much more engaging and immersive experience than any movie or TV show. Nothing compares to this. And this is a 5. Maximum points. Easy. The dialogue. This is the category where I want the player character to be able to make a lot of different choices. Now, Redemption 2 is a very scripted game, but there are some choices. Sometimes in missions you can choose how to approach the enemy. Sometimes you have to choose whether to be merciful or not.
Read this book. It is the future of American science.
Good choice, man.
Thank you.
Somebody help me!
It's not a lot of choice, but it gives you just enough to feel that you are in control. And of course the writing is amazing, so you don't really mind that you don't have complete control. This is a fault, but only because you cannot make all the choices. But it's not really a complaint against the game. It's a story-focused game, and that's totally fine. The world. This is more about the setting and less about the map. How did I enjoy this almost realistic yet totally made-up Wild West world?
You, sir, are a fish.
I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Ay Dios, no hay piedad, me robas el reposo.
You know Rockstar Games is known for GTA, and I've played all the GTA games, they are part of my childhood, but I've always been a fantasy fan. But somehow the Wild West setting kind of bridges those two worlds. The Wild West is a unique time period, unlike anything we had in Europe. So it is almost fantastical, and it's a time where outlaws and gunslingers roamed about. This is really close to fantasy, and I think it makes a perfect setting. I have to go 5. It's an amazing world, and it's very authentic, and there are so many details, from the wildlife to the cities, from the trains to the stagecoaches. There's just so much love and detail.
Okay, here's a lucky bucket. This is one. All right, let's see what you got for me. I said I called this spot, partner. Go on, get out, will you?
Exploration. This is a big game. Remember the golden days of open world games? Like we had the GTAs, and then we had Elder Scrolls games, and then everybody started making copies and clones of those games. I remember Assassin's Creed started doing open world games. There was a lot to choose from, and then it kind of dried up. The last one I really enjoyed, AC Odyssey maybe, The Witcher 3, Skyrim. Whenever you talk about open world games, you always come back to Skyrim because that is the benchmark. But I gotta say, playing this game, this cowboy game, running across the plains, jumping from train to horse, I hadn't felt this way in a long time.
Hello.
They got Bill.
What? Who has?
Bountyman. I found their camp nearby. They got Bill tied up. I'm gonna go take care of it. Come on.
Sloppy Bill.
Yeah, well. Coming?
All right, lead the way.
I'm not bold enough to say it's better than Skyrim, but it's up there. Definitely. So this is a 5 again. Combat. For a game that is sometimes slow-paced and has a lot of missions, there's a lot of gunfight. There's a lot of action going on, actually. Almost every mission has some shooting in it. It might be in the beginning, it might be in the middle, or at the end, but you get a chance to pull out your gun and do some damage. And every time it's fun, which is surprising, because the combat itself, it's not really complicated. It doesn't have many layers to it. But it's fun because how well it's executed. Shooting feels really nice, really smooth, and even on horseback. And the cherry on top is the Deadeye mode, where you can go into slow-mo. It's not quite Max Payne, but it hits the same.
This is my
Moonstick! Fire!
Okay.
Locked and loaded! Time to go! For Iron Forge! Ah! Shoot to kill! I've got the beast in my sights! I'm your shooter!
Man, I never got tired of shooting somebody in the head, one-shotting, boom! Fuck yeah, no, I'm gonna go 5 again. Hell yeah, let's celebrate that. Yeehaw, everybody! The loot. This game is not loot heavy. You have your guns and weapons, which you can upgrade and you can buy new ones, but there's a limited amount. And to be honest, I didn't spend a lot of time on the weapon. I chose my favorite rifle, I chose my favorite pistols, and that was it. That's all I needed. There's also no armor or otherwise gear that you can collect, although you can buy clothes, true. I have to go with 3, but this is not a knock on the game. Like, it had enough options to satisfy my needs. The visual. This is a beautiful game. There's nothing quite like riding to a mountain cliff on your horse during sunset and just marvel at the beauty of nature that is inside your computer virtually. And remember, this game is from 2018, and yet it looks amazing still. It looks beautiful graphically, but there's also the level of detail. All the environments look lifelike. All the clothes and costumes, weapons, equipment, it's all so authentic that you just... Fuck, it's such a pretty game. Oh my god. Just thinking about this, I want to get back on my horse and look around like this. Oh, it's such a beautiful game.
Oh yeah.
And it really reminded me how I missed open world RPGs. 5. The music is beautiful as well. From an atmosphere perspective, like both the visuals, the audio, the sounds, the music, everything in this game is top notch. There are some handpicked songs from artists that play during key moments, which are fantastic. But I really want to emphasize how good the game soundtrack itself is. Like the background music during missions and just, riding around. It is so well done, it's so moody and gritty and sometimes light and refreshing. What am I saying? The music is 5, it's the best. And fun, the last category, the most important.
You having fun? I'm having fun.
You have heard me talk about this game. You know that I love this game. When I'm talking about this fucking game, I enjoyed it so immensely, and that's why I wanted to make this fucking video about this. I need to share this emotion that I have. And every mission, it just gives you something. Even if the stakes are not high, even if it's something minor, it always fulfills you with something, and it never feels like a waste of time. And before playing, I heard complaints that the game's too slow and everything takes a long time, skinning animals, opening drawers, it's slow sometimes. But I didn't mind that. Instead, you adopt the pace of the game. You kind of embrace that tempo, and it doesn't seem slow anymore. And I think only a good game can really deliver such a feel where you don't feel rushed.
Took your damn time. Rotten pig fucker. Never did no right by me. Not since I was 6.
Well, glad you're feeling so good about all this. Goddamn hillbillies.
This is peak gaming. This is what a great team can accomplish. And this is a 5, which means that the score is 93 on the RPG perfection. Now, if you're a fan of the game, you might think that this is low, but I remind you, this is the RPG table. So even in this calculation, it's 93. That is such a fucking good score. I can't believe that Rockstar made a game that feels like Skyrim. For me, Grand Theft Auto and Elder Scrolls have always been the opposites, but somehow this game kind of commits fully into embracing both sides, and it has this perfect mixture of adventure, action, of movie tropes, of immersion. It is the total package. I mean, I need to. This one's for Arthur, the man on the right path, the best of us. And if you're interested where this score lands Red Dead Redemption 2 in my total table of RPGs, then this is a quick sneak peek into my collection. I don't want to show you the games that are lower on the list. This is a big list, because this is all subjective. This is super subjective. Don't take this as the truth. Obviously, everybody has their personal favorites. But for me, the biggest takeaway is that Red Dead Redemption 2 scored better than Skyrim. Kind of crazy. But at the same time, the story and characters of Skyrim are a lot weaker. So it kind of makes sense. And I did leave KOTOR 1 just a notch before Red Dead. I love KOTOR. To be honest, I love KOTOR more than Baldur's Gate, but hey, the math don't lie.
How do you do?
Ah, go to hell.
You don't mean that, do you?
I don't like the look of you.
Now, why would you say that to me?
My God, look at you fools.
Abusing decent people is how you pass
Get the hell out of here, woman.
Well, I never.
You're annoying me.
As a closing note, I want to tell you that I waited a long time to play this game. I kept pushing it on. I wanted to play it when I had the time. I was waiting for that perfect moment. And I was a fool for it. I should have played it years ago. This is a great game. This is one of the best games of all time. So don't be a fool like me. Don't wait. Just get the game. It's worth the money. And just take it easy. get your horse, ride into the sunset, and then praise the sun.
Insist? Oh, well, nobody likes degenerates.
That ain't right.
Insist?
That ain't right.
Insist? Maybe.
$5,000 for your head alone.
$5,000 for me? Can I turn myself in? Insist, 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 insist. Maybe. Insist, 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 insist. Maybe. Insist, insist, insist.
That ain't right.
Has anyone seen Gavin?
Maybe.